What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And in today's video, I'm talking about the California Air Resource Board and what's going on. So, we talked about this yesterday. I saw Friday that, late Thursday or before the close of business Thursday, that the last CRA of three CRAs, Wednesday and Thursday, got filed, which directly impact CARB itself, its funding from the federal government, meaning they will get zero, and emissions rules, useful life on diesel engines, useful life on emission systems on engines, period. But it's more, it does affect gas too, but it's more a diesel thing, because when those emission systems, like in a gas vehicle, like if you have stuff that goes bad, not saying all gas vehicles can drive with a bad cat, but if you have a bad catalytic converter or a bad O2 sensor or something, you can just keep driving. You just have a check engine light, just keep driving that damn thing. Some things in diesel trucks, when you have like a DPF filter that gets full, or some, it runs out of DEF, you could do damage to the engine. Sometimes the engine just won't even start. I know this personally, because I've had multiple diesel BMWs that have had to go to Jenny Craig and become much more healthier vehicles. So I'll say that, okay? But here's what's going on with California CARB right now. Some of the senior people at the California Air Resource Board are leaving. You won't believe where they're trying to go and take jobs. Now, I think the oil and gas industry is genius for this, but they're actively marketing to hire away executives and people that do policy at the California Air Resource Board, offering them money to leave, to come work for them. I think it's genius. I know you're going to say, well, no, TK, what if they bring those dumbass policies to the oil and gas companies? Do you think that's actually a thing? No. That's like saying like a drug cartel in Colombia or something, if Nancy Reagan was still alive and they brought Nancy Reagan on, and she'd be like, say no to drugs, and they'd immediately stop selling coke. That's not happening, okay? The cartels are going to keep moving weight. They're going to keep doing their thing. The oil companies are going to continue to drill. They're going to keep pulling out natural gas, and they're going to sell it, all right? They don't care if 5 or 6 people that are higher ups at the California Air Resource Board work there, but them being gone and their connections and the people that they work with in the California government, of them no longer being there, there's younger, more influential people that would be at the California Air Resource Board, at least till they go bankrupt, that would be persuaded, might be the way that you say this. But it's a wake-up call. They're protesting today. I don't know if you've seen this. Well, they're not doing it in Orange County, but in LA, they're protesting today that the government, they're trying to blame Doge. Matter of fact, I have to roll this clip for you because this is hilarious. I need to get me one of these retard finders so I can just have it around with me everywhere that I go so I can avoid these people. But roll this clip.
Get out of here.
Don't touch people. Come on. Keep your hands to yourself. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. Peaceful.
I might even put a little small clip of that at the beginning of the video. I don't know. That video made me laugh so hard. Anyways, so the misguided people in California are now saying it's Elon's fault that that the California Air Resource Board is not going to get any more money. Actually, Elon has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with Lee Zeldin at the EPA freezing all funding going to state emissions regulations, period. That's one. So everybody that says, oh, Lee Zeldin's a snake, Lee Zeldin's this, Lee Zeldin's that. No, Lee Zeldin is doing his mother job. And he's pulling back all of this crap within the power that he has to do without being sanctioned by a court. right? So, and that's why he was smart. He sent this stuff to Congress. Congress does this. Court can't do anything about it. Zero. There is nothing that it's legislation. There is nothing the court can do about it. It is the law of the land. And the courts, they have to follow. Now you can say, oh, don't the courts have to interpret? Sure. Sure. If a rule's unconstitutional and it's been ruled that the rule is no longer valid, there's nothing that the court can do. So making, smog checks in California non-existent and unrealistic emission standards for semi trucks, light trucks, heavy duty trucks, cars, classics, things of that nature. It's nothing that a court's going to be able to do. And I know, I see the comments there. California's just going to sue. They're just going to sue, TK. They're going to sue. They can sue all they want. It doesn't matter. What are they going to sue? They have no standing. There's nothing they can do. The rule is not effective. It's gone. It's been decided by legislation. Now, California could try to attempt to pass a law, but we get back to federal supremacy. Once the feds put their foot on something, that's it. They have no grounds. They can't do anything. And if you don't think for a second, Pam Bondi, because here's the thing with Pam Bondi, right? I see all the comments about 2A on a regular basis. I get it. I understand where you're coming from with that, with the red flag stuff, and I understand. I get it. I agree. I agree with where you guys are coming from. But I'm also looking at the whole, right? And the good that can happen. I also know about the comments you guys are dropping, the client list comments. I agree. I feel like all that should be published. I'm 100% on board with you there. Where I have an issue is I don't want to attack her character or who she is because she was like the Florida Attorney General. I don't want to do that. She is an exceptionally useful and great tool to go after California because she is a pit bull, whether you like what side of an issue she's on or not. California starts playing games once this stuff is signed by the president. Do you know what she's going to do? Her and Kash Patel are on the way to California. And there's one thing I can tell you that all of those people at the California Air Resource Board and all their little lackeys below them don't want to deal with. Jail. Because they've already said, if you are interfering in federal law and look what she's already done now to these people that are damaging Teslas. They're facing 20 years on an terrorism charge. Terrorism. I can't even say the word because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. Terrorism. Them boys over there in Yemen, whew, them murderers. I'm gonna have to make a whole language of a YouTube language where we could just mumble stuff. It's true though. But getting back on topic here, the people at the California Air Resource Board are just crazy, right? And this is environmentalist retards everywhere. And what I mean by that is, like, realistically think about this. If we eliminated let's say we go back to these mofos are so dumb. Let's say we went back to horses and buggies. The California Air Resource Board would be mad that horses fart. Think about that. The California Air Resource Board would be trying to talk about emissions from horses. If we eliminated all gas and diesel right now, EVs, all of it, went back to horses and buggies, they would complain that horses fart, and it would be damaging the environment. You think I'm kidding? That's the part. This is the part that I know some of you are laughing right now, probably eating, spitting your food out, milk coming through your nose, whatever. I apologize. But really think about this. They would. Horses fart. Oh, they're putting out methane. They're damaging the ozone. I can't even say it with a straight face. Oh, my God. This is the level of mental disorder we have when it comes to greenhouse gases and emissions. It's absolutely insane. It's insane. But there is hope for you guys that are watching this video today that are in California. And I'm not. I'm next door to you, but I ain't there. I'm only there on the weekends. I go to Huntington like every other weekend and I get out. look, there is hope. As you're seeing these top executives leave for these big ticket, big money oil jobs, they're doing that. It's such a hit. You got to think about this too. That is so hypocritical. You wanted to suppress your citizenry from being able to drive the vehicles that they want and do what they want to do and get the goods that they need from truck drivers and everything else, stop trains, all kinds of stuff, right? Under this greenhouse gas BS CARB thing, right? Yet you're leaving CARB to go get a job with one of the big oil and gas companies. Make that make sense. That shows you that 99% of the people that work there and set the policy at CARB are all about this, and they don't actually give a rat's ass about anything that's going on in that state. Period. End of story. I've seen some of the people talking about Reform California. I'm subscribed. Love that dude's channel. He gets into the he's a what do they call it in California? He's a representative of your state, not for the U.S. government, but he's a state representative. Be the equivalent of a congressman for the government, but you're going to need way more people like that are putting out common sense stuff. Because here's the unfortunate stuff: there're just so many brainwashed and dumbass people in positions to be able to make decisions in that state that it's going to take probably, by the time I'm 70, it might get back to being normal. And that sucks. That's like 25 years. I know you're going to say, damn, you look 70, TK. Shut up. But I digress. I'm hoping you guys all have an amazing weekend. I wanted to take like 10, 12 minutes to talk with you guys today on this because I thought it was interesting. I had 3 different people hit me up about this. One is an executive, I don't even want to say his position because I don't want to get him in trouble, but he's an executive at one of these oil and gas companies. And he showed me this program and told me the people that have already left CARB and signed on. And I was like, ooh, I got to talk about this. I wanted to do it last night, but we had already published like 5 or 6 videos yesterday. And I was like, I'll publish it over the weekend to give you guys some laughs. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm hoping that come Monday, as a great Jimmy Buffett song once said, come Monday, I hope that these 3 CRAs are voted on, pushed to the Senate, and by Wednesday, they are on the president's desk. And we can finally be done with the California Air Resource Board. Because this is what happens. These get signed. They know the state of California now knows that they have no authority to do anything anymore. But you have all of these state employees at an agency that has no money, that is no longer backed by the federal government. Guess what happens? Oh, I'm sorry, but the state of California has to lay you off because we don't have any money to pay you. And, you could take a position over here at the Department of Corrections. You could work at the jail. You could do this, you could do that, but this is not going to work anymore. Will the California Air Resource Board continue to exist? Maybe. Depends on who they vote for governor. And I'm hearing, and this would be epic, that Kamala Harris is actually going to run for governor in California. What happens if that would be like the trifecta of L's. Like, think about this. You ran for president, couldn't get in. You had to be the VP, right? Then you ran for president because your boss was slightly demented. They pushed his ass out. Now you're running for governor. And if you get beat, that's like a trifecta of L's. What do you do? I think you just disappear at that point. I don't even know if you could do speaking engagements. I think she's putting a lot of that on the line, not realizing how many people voted the other way in the state of California last time. They're going to have to import a lot of votes. But we'll see what happens, man. We shall see what happens. But I think the people in California are tired of it. I really do. I think they're done. They don't want to deal with this crap anymore. They want common sense. and they want to get back to having a normal life. And I agree. Anyways, give this video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want to see CARB come to an end in terms of what they are making you do for smog checks and the overburdensome crap on what you're allowed to drive in the state, put thumbs up in the chat. Just put a thumbs up emoji in the chat. I want to spam that like 10,000 friggin' thumbs ups in that chat because I want to use that as something. And there is a congressman that reached out to me today too. I will be interviewing here shortly from California that also wants to put an end to all of this. Anyways, until next time, as always, stay petty, my friends.
For the longest time, whoa, for the longest.
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Percocet, Miley